speak about women being celebrated, we can ask the question of, like, should we tend to the soil that as a seed gets planted, it gives us a tree that nourishes us? We tend to forget about the soil. So this woman sometimes takes the back stage, or the back scene becomes the soil. But without fertile soil, seeds can thrive. Seeds can grow to become a tree that is going to nurture us. I mean, this is the poet in me speaking. But I'm saying that every time in African spirituality, we always take care of everything. We always take care of everything. Not only the woman, not only the man, not only the child, but of everything. So if we take care of everything and we realize that the woman is a cultivator, a woman is a catalyst of life. So celebrating a woman is no question. It's actually an obligation from us as African people to always honor, revere the great one, the goddess that brings forth life. Should be done daily. But I love things like Women's Month because it's a remembering of not taking for granted. Because if you're celebrating something, you can get into a monotonous behavior of like, oh, it's there anyway, I honor and acknowledge. But when we've got a month exclusively made to honor and revere and respect women, that's powerful for me. That's really powerful. But I want us to remember celebrating women every day. I come from the Southern African continent, a part of the continent. I come from South Africa, where I know that the women marched and said, enough, it's enough. We can't carry dumpasses. We can't do this. So I am who I am. I have the ability to say and write what I like and articulate what I like, because warriors, women who walked, amaqhawekazi, walked this journey before me. So mine is to walk it ahead for the next generation and the next generation to walk it ahead until we can return back home. Home is Africa and Africa is a woman. That's where we need to return back to. Let's celebrate Women's Day all the time, 365 days, but this month is to actually allow us to elevate it, to leverage it, to know it, to be lit in our hearts, to be lit in our actions. So when the women walk in, we lay the red carpets. When the women walk in, we honor them. And I want to say one thing. I mean, South Africa and the world is faced in the current context, it's women hating. The current context is women hating. There's been escalation of violence against women in South Africa and in the world. When we do that, we are hating life. There's something wrong in our psyche about not appreciative of life, because if we destroy the life giver, life cannot continue anymore. So every time you're thinking of laying a hand, you're thinking of issuing out an insult, whether verbally, whether financially, in any other form, insulting a woman, it's insulting your own very essence of life. And you cannot live well if a woman is not well. Be well and make women well.
Profound. And
so I had to add the woman thing, the violence.
And then there is this, the theme, 2017 Women's Month. It's be bold
for change.
Be bold for change. You're gonna have to be tied because she's changing position. Kayo, poetic Kayon. I would like you to play with these words, with these keywords. Be bold for change. Still engaging, still part of your message for Women's Month. That's the poetic that play around like with those two words for me. Be bold for change.
As women, as women of the African nation, as we remember that we need to be bold for change, we need to unlearn what we were taught about what women is. A woman.
It's all good. It's all
no,
good.
I don't have the. Yeah.
Okay.
Can I pick it up from where I left it?
Yes,
you work with the edit.
Yes. We'll work with the edit, and then cut audio also quickly, and then roll audio, roll picture.
Rolling audio, rolling picture, rolling audio.
Picture. And you change shot, right?
Yeah.
Thank you. And at your own time, Gogo, you can.
Be bold for change at these turbulent times where definitions and towing the line might be what is being expected of you as an African child, as an African woman. But be bold and be your own identity. Redefine who you are. and walk with your own skin color very proudly. You don't have to fit in the world's shoes. You don't have to fit in Western perspective of what an African woman is. You don't have to fit in what religion teaches you're supposed to be. You don't have to fit in what a man is telling you're supposed to be. Be bold and be yourself. Be bold and be yourself, lesbian, non-lesbian, straight. Be bold, sangoma or no sangoma, preacher or teacher. Be bold and be yourself, African child, because only if you are bold and being yourself, the change in which you want to see can then happen.
Beautiful. And then just one last thing, can you go for a profile quickly?
Okay.
Handheld.
While you're here, can we do the hands quickly while you're here?
Okay.
I'm just going to ask you one question, but this is just for cutaways.
So let me
Happy days.
Mtombo wa smile like umbrella.
All right. You can put your hands more, more hair. Perfect. And then you said something, do not let religion you would define like as a woman.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
So just pick it up from religion.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, everybody seems to think they know what women should be. And we are a religious continent that we've carried ourselves, either we're very religious or extremely cultural to a point where, we are told we are the neck. We are told we are the neck and the man is the head. And, religion has defined us underneath the man. Religion has, if you look from one text of religion to another, it's always the woman as a subservient of a man. And don't allow that to define who you are as a woman, because there's a lot of women who are leaders. There's a lot of women who are in leadership positions that need to understand that, religion can be limiting in terms of who we are, because religion is extremely patriarchal. And like I said, remember the truth, the African truth of who we were, who was God before we were brought all those religious documents, before we were brought the Bible, who was God to African women, to African communities, to African families? Who was God? And God was the creator energy. And like I said, woman is a giver of life. So if I see a woman, I see a God.
Very nice.
Was that elaborative enough?
It was.